Hey everyone, what's up? It's Ventus, and this is Fire Emblem Heroes, the Grand Hero Battle for Michalis, Ambitious King. This is going to be a commentary video on my strategies for dealing with Michalis on both hard and lunatic difficulties. The map is no longer available as I speak, but will be available on March the 24th. They made the map available early for 1 hour on the 20th at 4 a.m. in the morning, so I actually woke up for this. So for the people who are here for the lunatic version, you can skip ahead a couple minutes. I'm going to be talking about the hard one first because, I just want to survey the map and go through the thought processes that I had at the very beginning, and then we'll move on to the lunatic afterwards. So as you can see, this is my arena team. This is the Robin team with Shadow Dragon characters and Tharja, and I'm going to be using this team for hard. It's not going to be very difficult because this is not a lunatic map and I'm over leveled, but it's just there to survey the map basically. So this is what the map looks like. You have Michalis in the middle, two flyers next to him. I wonder why. And then a spear guy and a sword guy on one on each side. So looking at Michalis, he has Iode's shield, he has threat defense, and how to clear. How to clear? How to clear? However you pronounce it. It's Minerva's axe. Also his axe. A royal axe. Royal arms. If you look at his stats, he's got pretty good HP, pretty good attack, pretty good defense, but his speed and his resistance are terrible. So what that means is, in most cases, you're going to double him, and if you touch him even a little bit with magic, he's dead. But that's where these flyers come in, as you'll see very soon. The lance guy on the left, he has Death Blow, Heavy Spear, this deals with armored units, and a Bow Breaker, deals with bow users. So if you leave a bow user to tank him, he's going to double attack you for pretty heavy damage. And speaking of heavy, if you leave an armored unit there, he's probably going to deal pretty good damage against you too. Now here's where it gets interesting. The flyers. They have drag back and hone flyers and fortify flyers. Basically, any flying units adjacent to these two guys will get +6 to all stats, and that's really scary. We saw Michalis' stats. They're not that great overall, but this makes up for it. He's going to get a massive bonus in his stats because of that. And both of these units are the same. Their stats are the same. Their skills are the same, except one is defensive, one is offensive. And they're going to be buffing up the boss unit. Now, this guy on the right, same thing as the guy on the left, except his weapon triangle is different, and his class is different. He's got Death Blow, Bow Breaker. Doesn't have an Armor Slayer, but he deals more damage, I guess, because of that, because of the Silver Sword. Okay, so that's the lay of the land. That's the surveying of the map. Now it's time to just destroy it. So the strategy I decided was to go on the left side and tank this unit. Because Robin has 26 defense, she's actually got above average defense. She can tank this guy pretty easily, and even tank Michalis really easily. Unfortunately, though, she can't kill either of them because her attack is low, and she's meant to kill cavalry units. Unfortunately, this guy's red, and that's not going to be a good situation if I go that way. So instead of moving up to attack, I just move in range to tank. Because if I move up to attack, this guy attacks me and I'll probably die. No, I definitely will die. Gordon moves up. Jagan stays here to buff. Tharja gets buffed. +3 resistance. Yay. She gets more damage because of her weapon. And that's basically this turn. So now you see how much damage they do. 23 damage from Michalis, 3 damage from this guy. And now they're in range to get destroyed. Kinda. So because I'm over leveled, I know that none of these guys can actually one-shot anyone except for Robin, so I need to get Robin to safety. But Michalis has to die. He's really dangerous because he's the boss unit and he's getting buffed, right? So what I do is I move Jagan down and then I use Tharja to attack Michalis and then he dies. Simple as that. I'm over leveled by 10 levels. He's not going to survive. Now because Tharja's in range of a blue guy, this is actually dangerous. If you had an equal level Tharja, you'd probably be in trouble, but because of the level difference, this is easy peasy. You can just tank it really easily. Robin moves down, Gordon goes up, kills the flyer, and even though this guy has Bow Breaker, Gordon has 30 defense. He's not going to take much damage, and he just tanks it like nothing. With Michalis dead and their formation broken, everything becomes a lot easier. So Jagan, 42 attack, just kills this guy in one hit. Tharja moves up. She has weapon triangle disadvantage, but she's really powerful and this guy's under-leveled. And then Gordon takes out the Cavalier, and that's basically hard mode. Easy peasy. If you have level 40 characters, You don't really need much strategy, but that's just one approach, I guess. And this is the tier 3 version of Michalis. Not a big deal. So let's move on to Lunatic instead. Okay, so with Lunatic, I actually changed up my team. I'm using Nino, Olivia, Tharja, and Gordon. Now the strategy I had in mind was to poke one of these guys, or one of these guys, one of these two, and then drag back. Unfortunately though, this strategy doesn't work very well, as you'll soon see. But, if you want to beat the map, you gotta try things. I probably shouldn't have even tried this strategy, but I did it anyway. Waste of stamina, but at least you get to see it. And then we'll go on to the better strategies afterwards. So here's what I figured. Gordon moves in, kills this guy in one hit. That's gonna happen no matter what, because flying units take so much damage. They have low defense, and Gordon deals 1.5 times damage. And then Nino drags Gordon back. But unfortunately, that's about it for the strategy, because you can't do anything after that. Gordon moves up. There's the double attack with the Brave weapon. Nino moves up, drag back. Because this guy is statistically really strong, since it's Lunatic, and he has Bowbreaker, Gordon's in trouble. I try to sing, doesn't work. Even if I do it, I realize, oh crap, this is the moment I screwed up. This strategy, it's not very good. And you'll see soon, Gordon getting wrecked. Rip. Nino, do something. Nope, you can't do anything. Unless she drags back up there and then they all die. That works too. 26-26. If this were hard, he would not have taken anywhere close to that damage. Alright, new approach. Narcian, tier 4. Everyone's tier 4. Narcian, Olivia, Tharja, Gordon. So these two are like the staples of this map, at least for me. The idea is to tank Michalis with someone on this tile. In this case, it's going to be Narcian. I figured that the sides are kind of hard to approach, so I'm going to try the middle instead. I also saw, okay, he has 27 speed. Narcian has 26 speed. He's not going to double me. But that's not really true, is it? Because these flyers are supporting him, and I don't have any speed support for him, unfortunately. So like an idiot, I move up. Everyone's in range. Everyone is ready to attack next turn. Unfortunately, stuff happens. He gets buffed. He gets +6 speed. And he kills me. And that's over. Now, this strategy is not necessarily flawed. It's more that Narcian is kind of flawed. You're going to have at least 29 speed, because he goes from 27 to 33. 29 plus speed to actually not take a double from him. So if you have someone like Camilla, who's decently fast, or if you have a red flyer like Sita or Paula, probably Paula is better, because I think she's tankier than Sita, and also she has a ruby sword. Ruby sword makes it so that his axe does 20% less damage. That's 40% less damage with weapon triangle as well. And it's essentially almost no damage. Plus he doesn't double. So if you have Paula, even though she's kind of mediocre as a unit overall, Paula actually tanks Michalis quite well. And on top of that, the two flyers will never reach Paula, because Michalis is going to be here, the sword flyer is going to be there, Michalis will be blocking, and the lance flyer is going to be here. So you don't have to worry at all about Paula getting killed. She's just not going to die. Then after that, because the lance flyer is going to be here, Gordon just snipes this one, and next turn Michalis dies to Tharja. This guy, probably not going to kill as well, but if you have Paula tank this guy, I think it would be fine as well. Otherwise, you might have to move Tharja away because they're actually decently strong. I don't think Tharja gets doubled though. I'm pretty sure Tharja will live this attack. This is the danger one, so just take out the lance user. Tharja should be fine afterwards. Paula should be fine afterwards, and Michalis is gone. Michalis and the lance guy gone, and you just have 3 more units left, and everything becomes so much easier. So this strategy I think is viable. I just don't have the units for it, unfortunately. Alright, so now, this is a strategy that I actually can do. So instead of having Nino with drag back is just pulling your unit back along with the other one. I have Barst for reposition, and also because he's a green user. Because I have a green unit that's decently tanky, I'm going to put him on this side and tank this attack. This strategy requires you to position really well, and also make sure that you don't screw up your order as well, your order of attack and movement. And it's a very slow kite back strategy. So I'm going to just skip ahead. It takes me a little while to figure this out. This is the first time I tried these characters. So it takes me a couple tries to get them in position. And this is what I decided on. Tharja in the front, to get a buff from Olivia. Barst over here, Gordon in the back. Gordon's not going to be very effective, so I'm just going to leave him there. So what happens is Tharja gets buffed by Olivia, gets 4 attack, that's 4 more bonus damage on her weapon, and that allows her to double attack onto Michalis and kill him in 1 turn. Now keep in mind that this Tharja is a plus attack Tharja. So she has 42 attack. Tier 4, obviously. If you were minus attack, you would have 6 less attack, which means you deal 12 less damage. So take a look at the damage here. If you were not a plus attack Tharja, you would need additional buffs to actually kill Michalis. And that's the unfortunate thing. So for this strategy, unfortunately, you have to use a plus attack Tharja if it's a tier 4 Tharja. Otherwise, you're going to need someone to buff, and it's going to make the strategy a little bit more difficult to do. So the plus attack Tharja attacks, 35-35, Michalis dies, and I'm not in range to reposition, but that's why Olivia is here, dances for Barst, Barst repositions, and Tharja's safe. Gordon moves up, doesn't really do anything. Now, on this turn, the Lance guy moves up to attack Barst once. He doesn't deal much damage. He only deals 17 damage. If he double attacks, it'd be 34 damage, and Barst would still live. You know, he's pretty tanky. He's not max level, I should note. He's level 35, I believe. But what I did actually do is I thought, what if I actually do die? What if, even though he has weapon triangle disadvantage, this guy actually kills me? So what I did was I took off Barst's Brave Axe and put on the Steel Axe, just so he gains back 5 more speed. In the end, it didn't really do anything, but you know, at least he can tank. The point is he can tank this attack. Now this turn is when it gets a little bit interesting because you have to kite back. Danger tiles go from here to here to here. This diagonal row is all danger. So you need to be out of this area. Sword guy reaches here, here. Lance guy reaches there. That means that the only free tiles that are not danger would be here, here, and here. This tile is danger because of the Lance guy, but the Lance guy is going to end up dying. So you'll see how I execute this turn. So I start off, because Tharja is so strong and she's getting buffed, I'm going to attack the Lance guy and kill him. After he dies, I move Gordon down, move Olivia there, and then I move Gordon to this side outside of danger range. Barst repositions, and now Tharja's outside danger range. So now nobody is in danger range, all the free tiles are occupied, but I actually believe this was probably a mistake. Because if you look at this turn, okay, we're on player phase, this is my next turn. The Lance guy actually denies himself. Because this pillar is in the way, the Lance guy can't reach this tile, only the Sword guy can. And I don't know why giant pillars or giant buildings are taller than mountains, but they are. So, you know, in this game, in this scenario, this guy denied himself from being in range of my units. This ends up being a free tile. This ends up being a free tile. I could have actually left Gordon there, most likely, because he doesn't die from the attack anyway. He only takes a double attack, and he has 30 defense. Okay, so they have 43 attack, 13-13, that's 26 damage. He survives with 14 HP. It's no problem. Drag back doesn't do anything because Gordon can't actually land on any of these tiles. He's an infantry unit, can't fly over. If he had a flying unit, they would be dragged back, and that would be troublesome, but luckily I'm not using one. But because I use this strategy, it makes it even more important that my units are tier 4. And I don't like to, you know, rely on the star value of my units, their stats, the stat values, to actually do these maps. It's better to have better strategy. So I think this is actually suboptimal. I even mentioned, you know, Tharja, she's got to be plus attack. So it's kind of a strategy that is not accessible in general to most people. But then again, some strategies that other people can do, I probably can't do. So, I mean, the point of this is to just give you some inspiration and see if you can actually figure something out to beat this map when it comes out. So I checked this guy's stats. He's got 50 attack, 56 with death blow, 25 speed. Olivia's got 31 HP, 27 defense, 31 speed. So Olivia doubles this guy. This guy only hits single. 56 minus 27 is 29 damage. So Olivia lives with 2 HP. If you have a tier 3 Olivia, just a dance bot or a bot, she's not going to be able to survive this most likely unless she's like plus stats. But even then, it's questionable because this is a max level Olivia and you probably have -2 of every stat. Alright, so back to the execution. Gordon moves here. Olivia dances for Gordon. Olivia is in range to tank this guy next turn. And then Gordon kills the Lance guy, who's actually not in range of anyone. So that's actually not optimal. If I stood here, I probably could have used Gordon to kill 2 people, both of them. But yeah, that's just something I didn't consider when I was doing this, because it's the first time I did it. This is like a blind playthrough of this map using this team. Obviously, I knew what the strategy was like for the enemy units, but for this team, the first time executing a strategy is always the most difficult, right? After killing, I just moved Tharja and Barst out of range. They're in the safe tiles, and Gordon is in the danger tile. He has high defense, 13-13, 29, 2 HP remaining, double attack, and that's basically the end of the map. Everyone survives. Tharja double attacks, Cavalier dies, Barst moves left, Gordon moves down, kills the flyer, and that is the end of the map. And there you go. Lunatic playthrough, the 4-star Michalis, the ambitious king. And yeah, there you go. Both maps are cleared. As with the Ursula map, I'm going to put the units on the screen, as you can see right now. Tier 4 Tharja, plus attack minus defense. Tier 4 Olivia, Tier 4 Gordon, and Barst, level 35, also Tier 4. But, all he's used for is repositioning and tanking 1 hit. So, unfortunately for this strategy, you're going to need a plus attack Tharja, or you're going to need a secondary buff to actually be able to kill Michalis in 1 hit. Because her red blade gets bonus damage whenever you buff yourself, any kind of buff, if you're minus attack, or if you're neutral attack, you're going to be a little bit short of damage. It's really unfortunate, but that's just how it works. Olivia is just Olivia. She's there for the stats. She's there for the dance. Gordon is the flying killer. He takes care of the flying units, and he deals decent damage overall. But yeah, none of these characters have skill inheritance. It's just the default skills, and that's the strategy that I use for Lunatic. Hopefully somebody will be able to use the strategy. If not, maybe it inspires you to use another strategy very similar, and that'll work out and get you Michalis, tier 4. I think other strategies that may work, I mentioned the Paula strategy, just tanking Michalis and then striking back the turn after. If you have, I think, a tanky dragon on the left side, you might be able to deal with Michalis as well as the other guy. If you have someone like Faye with a defense buff, if you have Tiki, preferably Shadow Dragon Tiki because she doesn't get doubled. I think Awakening Tiki gets doubled by Michalis and the other guy. But I think, those kinds of tanky units would do pretty well if you just leave them on the left side. Then you don't actually need Tharja to tank. Michalis will probably die to Tiki. The Landsky will probably die to Faye. If you have Ninian, she can be used as the dancer. If you're using a dragon team to tank, pretty sure that works out as well. It's an alternate strategy. If you go to the right side, you can have a tanky blue unit as well. If you do use a blue or green unit, you just got to make sure that they can actually take the attacks, because the blue flyer is going to drag you into Michalis, and Michalis is going to hit you for a lot of damage. If you have strong units, the map, in general, these kind of Grand Hero Battle challenges, if you have strong units, you can just tank things up and kill everyone easily. If you have like a Hector or whatever, pretty sure Hector works out pretty well on this map. Is there a map that Hector doesn't work out well on? I think that should be the question to ask. But yeah, I'm sure there are tons of strategies out there, lots of things you can try. This is just one of the many strategies, but I hope it's been helpful. I hope it inspires you to at least try some stuff out. But again, this was the early completion of the map. You can do the actual completion of the map on the 24th of March. But that'll be it for the Michalis Grand Battle. So thanks for watching. Check out the arena that's going to come out later today, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for more Fire Emblem. Have a nice day.
How dare you lay a finger on me!